you could go back in time to your 25-year-old self, knowing everything you know today, and you could give him a single piece of life advice, what would you say to him?
Stay with her. It's a cliche to say that money doesn't give you what you want, but it's actually true. You can't sustain doing something for 50 years if you don't truly, truly love it.
A lot of people are lost in life. How would you recommend navigating that?
When you're young, you have a lot of leeway to take risks, and you're young until like 94.
Yeah. Have you ever wondered what advice people in their 70s would give to someone of your age? Well, in this video, I'm going to be interviewing a 71-year-old artist by the name of Michael Haftka in New York City, asking him about his greatest life lessons, his most vulnerable moments, and his biggest mistakes in life. Michael has a very, very different outlook on life than most of the 70-year-olds that I've spoken to, and I can guarantee that his advice will change the way you think about your own life. How old are you?
71 years old. I was born in 1953.
What does it feel like to be 71?
It feels great. You certainly feel different at 71 than you do when you're 21. You know, the saying, looking backwards, 20/20 hindsight is perfect. Looking back, instead of having any regrets, if you look back and you understand who you were and how you developed, it's actually a lot of fun. And it leads you in the future. So if you're actually going forward, looking back is a lesson.
Where do you think people go wrong possibly in the process of getting older and not feeling the way you feel?
The world has a lot of troubles, and the world has a lot of problems. And life is actually hard. But if you internalize that in such a way that it overwhelms you and overwhelms the possibility, then you only see that. And that develops a negative point of view. And I think actually, truthfully, our point of view and our attitude towards life determines a lot. So I try always to cultivate a very positive attitude, simply because life is beautiful.
Just one sec. If you like the advice you hear on our channel, you're gonna love this. Every single week, we take the 5 biggest regrets, the best life lessons, the things you really, really, really need to know. We put it into a free newsletter that we send out every single week to you. If you're interested, you can join by clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code on the screen. It's totally free, and every single week you'll get amazing life advice like you see on our channel straight to your inbox. Well, what do we need to know about your childhood and how you grew up to understand you?
My parents were Holocaust survivors. My father was from Poland. My mother was from Hungary. Their entire families were annihilated, murdered.
Were you close with them growing up?
Yeah, but it was very difficult for them to be close because actually when you experience such devastation, such horror, and you lose everything, you always feel you're at the risk of losing everything. And my mother died quite young. She was 43 years old. She had a very, very difficult life. My father lived older, but he suffered tremendously early on in life and lost everything. And so even though he worked hard and was a wonderful father, I think there was always a muted quality to his emotional spectrum simply because it was just too unbearable to feel.
When you think back on them, is there some advice or guiding lesson that they had told you when you were younger that had stuck with you throughout your life?
You know, everybody gives you advice. Everybody tries to give you a point of view. I think you have to figure it out for yourself. Yeah.
How did you do that?
Curiosity.
Do you think people are not curious enough in life?
I think people are afraid. And fear always gets in the way of curiosity. Fear is quite a powerful blocker of everything.
What's the attitude you have to be able to understand that, yes, it is scary, and it would always be scary, but nonetheless, I still am going to do what I want to do?
Well, actually, I don't know if you have to have an attitude. It's exactly as you say. You have to decide. So the attitude is making a decision, taking control in every situation, no matter how oppressed you are or how difficult it is. So you might not be able to take control of the outward circumstances. On some level, you can take control of your own mind.
Inside this journal that you exercised, that you had filled out, one thing that you're grateful for today.
Everything.
That was the first thing you
Yes, absolutely. Everything.
What makes you
grateful for everything?
The world is miraculous. We take it for granted. You could take this garden for granted, but this garden happened by itself in a miraculous way. You know, the feather that just floated down, it's extraordinary. That was a beautiful, beautiful moment. I hope the camera picked it up. The flower is beautiful. Everything that is here right now, including you. This is all miraculous. Even the camera is miraculous. So why not be grateful for it all?
How do you describe yourself and what you do?
Well, I'm an artist, so and I'm public about it, and I've had a career for 50 years. In my work, what I've found is that creating is a great way to discover yourself. And I don't think of it exactly as a business, even though I do it as a business and I've been successful, and my work's in museums and I show in galleries and all that stuff. But all that stuff has nothing actually to do with what I really do. And what I really do is turn inward and find something beautiful and valuable to develop and create with. And I think everybody could make that message their own on a certain level. It doesn't have to be in painting. It could be in music. It could be in anything. It could be in walking. So having a creative attitude to any action actually sprouts it.
Have you been looking to start a simple side hustle or just add an extra stream of income over the holidays? Check out Printify, the sponsor of today's video. Whether you want to sell t-shirts, ornaments, custom gift wrapping papers, or more, and not have to deal with inventory, Printify handles the printing and shipping for you, so you can focus on creating and earning no matter how old you are. For example, I recently went on Printify where I remade the shirt that I wear in all of my interviews by uploading my design and customizing it, getting a sample, and then launching it on our Shopify store by simply connecting the platforms to each other. If you've been looking to create a side hustle, use the link in the description to sign up. And you can also use the coupon code Sprouht to get a free 30-day Printify premium subscription. This will qualify only for the first 1,000 people who click the link below, so act fast. All right, back to the video.
If a lot of people are lost in life, especially young people trying to figure out what they want to do, how would you recommend navigating that at that point in life, given what the world is right now?
You know, you have to take risks. Right. If you don't really know what you want to do, then you just got to try things. You know, you got to take the risk. You got to try things. Security is actually an illusion. So when you get a good job and you have security, you can lose it. It's not necessarily going to be secure. So, and you know, it's a cliche to say that money doesn't give you what you want, but it's actually true. Although we do need money, we do need to be practical, but we also need to experiment and we need to take risks. I had many jobs to support myself in the beginning as an artist. And those jobs also gave me incredible experiences and a lot of knowledge. When you're young, you have a lot of leeway to take risks. That's the thing. Take advantage of that. And you're young until like 94.
Yeah. Those small jobs you took, were they related to art? Like,
no, they weren't related to art. I was a welder. I welded in a sewer. I was a salesman. I worked, I did all sorts of things. I was a dishwasher. I was a taxi cab driver. I was construction worker. I did anything and everything, and they weren't related to art. But funny enough, all those things give you experience, and those experiences are phenomenal. Then they come in handy in what I do. So,
how long did it take for you to be, I'll quote unquote, I'll say successful, quote unquote, but I guess to the point where you could be an artist full time?
It took quite a long time, actually. There's this period of actually total insecurity and struggling, but that actually allows you to figure things out. It also defines how you look at the world, defines your priorities. And in my case, I had children and I saw that they were more important than art. But I always felt successful because I defined myself according to what I was actually doing, not according to the sales. You can live well on a lot of money, and you can live well on little money. You have to be frugal. You have to have common sense. Right. So when I had less money, I spent less money.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes really down to it, everybody should try to understand, do they have something really valuable to offer? And if they have something really valuable, then it's a no-brainer. You put it out there and it will be acquired because it has value. And if it has no value, it'll fail. And if it fails, you have to learn from that. Success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So that's something that I think is really key. You can't sustain doing something for 50 years if you don't truly, truly love it. So in order to really love something, it's got to be really internally rewarding. You've got to feel it in your soul. You've got to wake up in the morning excited to do it, and it's got to give back to you. This idea of instant success is an illusion. Well, the same thing is true with being instantly understanding of yourself. In order to love, you have to have patience. I'm very fortunate in my life that I have love. I've love of my wife for 50 years. That's extraordinary. Love is something that is absolutely extraordinary. It's not just about somebody out there. It is truly about loving yourself, loving your children. And the way to actually have real love is to really find a way to love yourself and be kind to yourself.
What is a good tip or a great tip for someone who wants to love themselves more?
Accept everything. One of the things that stop people from being creative and stop people from loving themselves and stop people from really turning inward is fear. This fear that we're going to find something truly ugly, find something truly that doesn't work, find something that will make us fail, find something that's, I'm not really a great artist. I'm just a faker. My paintings aren't any good, or my music isn't any good, or something. When you focus on that negative, that's because you're afraid that really deep down inside you're meaningless. You have to find meaning by acceptance.
What is a failure that comes to your mind that at the time had a huge impact on you?
Well, I've been rejected by I've been rejected by so many galleries. I've failed so many times. Nobody's looking. Nobody's watching. I mean, how many paintings have I destroyed that suck, that are bad? Nobody knows about them. My wife knows about them. I know about them, but I don't even remember because I don't focus on failure. I focus on success.
I also think the fear of not doing the thing people should think that that's more scary of what your life could be if you don't try these things, and the regrets that you'll sit with in your life.
Absolutely. I have no regrets. Life is amazing, but there's no guarantees, and you don't know how long you're going to be alive.
So you and your wife have been together for how long?
50 years.
What has been a secret to the success of your relationship and lasting 50 years?
The secret is making a commitment to use that love and that respect for each other to do everything together and to try to always understand each other. I saw in one of the interviews you did, Larry Silverstein saying the most important thing in life is who you choose for your spouse. He's absolutely correct. You really need to build things together. I think a lot of people perhaps just don't understand that. And the commitment is not like, oh, I'm going to be with you forever. It's, I'm going to work everything out with you forever. We built everything together. Our dreams, our desires were mutual. And, there are many compromises along the way. We waited to have children because my career was so insecure, so I could really develop my career. But at a certain point, we didn't wait anymore. So I understood that. So, and many times she's way righter than me, So
Many times?
Many times. Many times. That's
every time?
Kind of, maybe every time. There she is. Maybe every time. But there you are. No, that's true. It's awesome. But recognizing that is really important.
Can you define the word love for me?
Looking for a definition is the desire to simplify it down to this one ingredient that we could develop or nurture: respect, attraction, sex, love, all that stuff. All of that, it's too intangible to define, and we don't really need a definition. We pretty much know it. When you have a child, there's kind of instant love. So why is it different with anything else?
If you had to offer somewhat of a blueprint for someone who is lost in life, trying to figure things out, or just overall wants to live a better, happier, more fulfilling existence, there's 3 things that come to mind. Sort of your 3 rules.
Don't define yourself by the outside. That's number 1, because when we define ourselves by the outside, we fall into a pitfall actually dealing with things that are irrelevant. Then I would say try to truly understand yourself. And then the third thing is actually pay attention to what you really want and love and follow it.
If you could go back in time to your 25-year-old self, knowing everything you know today, and you could give him a single piece of life advice, what would you say to him?
Stay with her.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That
This
was
is
amazing.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is
a lot of fun.
Thank
It's
you.
great.